Let's take a look at how the markets performed this week. First to Europe, as at Friday, December the 23rd, Euro Stoxx 600 closed on 428.15 and was up by 0.21%. London ended down at an all-share index of 7,473.01, closing up by 0.05%. The markets in Germany saw the DAX close positive at a value of 13,972.2, and it was up by 0.47%, and the CAC 40 Paris ended the week positive at 6,518.36, down by 0.01%. And lastly, the IBEX 35 ended on a positive at 8,284.9 and was also up by 0.15%. It's a green light all across Europe this Friday, as that shook off some of the losses from recent sessions and brightened investors' sentiments. Now to the markets in Nigeria. At the end of the last weekday of trading on the Nigeria Stock Exchange, Friday, December 23rd, a total of 140.36 million shares in 2,063 deals corresponding to a market value of 4.02 billion naira were traded. The current market capitalization of the Nigerian Stock Exchange is 27.07 trillion naira. The all-share index rose by 0.42% to close at 49,706.09. Now for some top business stories that made headlines this week. First to the UK. According to figures released on Thursday by the Office for National Statistics, the UK economy shrank more than previously predicted in the third quarter as family disposable income continued to decline. Between the second and third quarters, output decreased by 0.3%, more than was anticipated. The statistics demonstrate how far behind other advanced economies the UK is. The Office for National Statistics also revealed that between the second and third quarters of the year, real household disposable income, that's the amount that households have left over after accounting for inflation, fell by 0.5%. As China attempts to exit nearly 3 years of growth, restraining capital controls, the government, central bank, and regulators have offered support to boost the economy. While Beijing's economic leaders have started to look past the immediate health problem and concentrate on stabilizing the country's shattered economy, China is still battling the coronavirus outbreak that was brought on by a relaxation of its zero-COVID rule. Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of FTX, and two of his closest associates have admitted to fraud and promised to assist U.S. prosecutors looking into the collapse of the bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange. The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York announced late on Wednesday that Gary Wang, a co-founder of FTX, and Caroline Ellison, the former CEO of FTX trading affiliate Alameda Research, had both been charged with crimes. The Securities and Exchange Commission also filed separate civil charges against them. Nigeria's central bank has announced substantial increases in its limits on weekly cash withdrawals, following pressure from the public. The decision late Wednesday came 2 weeks after the CBN imposed restrictions on weekly cash withdrawals to limit the use of cash in the economy. This decision follows threats from POS terminal operators to sue the CBN for withdrawal limits. The new directive might put to rest or reduce the controversy generated by the policy, which was marked for suspension by the House of Representatives. The latest circular comes on the heels of heightened protests, especially in Abuja, by interest groups calling on stakeholders to stop politicizing CBN's monetary policy interventions. France's privacy watchdog says it has fined U.S. tech giant Microsoft $64 million for foisting advertising cookies on users. In the largest fine imposed in 2022, France's National Commission for Technology and Freedom said Microsoft's search engine Bing had not set up a system allowing users to refuse cookies as simply as accepting them. The French regulators said that after investigations, it found that when users visited these sites, cookies were deposited on their terminals without their consent, whilst these cookies were used, amongst others, for advertising purposes. A committee in the United States House of Representatives has voted to publicly release years of tax returns obtained from former President Donald Trump, capping a years-long legal and political battle that started when he was in the White House. The Ways and Means Committee, the body responsible for overseeing tax-related issues, voted 24-16 in a closed-door session on Tuesday in what was seen as a last opportunity for the Democrat-led panel to broach the issue. A summary of Trump's tax returns between 2015 and 2021, when he was running for president and serving in the White House, will be partially redacted and released within days, said the committee's chairman, Richard Neal, a Democrat from Massachusetts.
I would think what people will likely be surprised about is the extent to which the IRS was not conforming to their own.
So, regrettably, the deed is done. Over our objections in opposition, Democrats on the Ways and Means Committee have unleashed a dangerous new political weapon that overturns decades of privacy protections for average taxpayers. The era of political targeting and of Congress's enemies list is back. Clear, too, that no Congress has ever made public the full private tax returns of any American taxpayer. This is especially troubling because, as you heard us comment here at the end, this committee voted on documents that are not yet complete.
President Putin has presided over the launch of major new Siberian gas fields to help drive a planned surge in supply to China. The Kovyktia gas field will feed into the Power of Siberia pipeline carrying Russian gas to China. With recoverable reserves of 1.8 trillion cubic meters of gas, it is the largest in eastern Russia. The launch is part of Russia's strategy to shift gas exports to the east as the EU cuts reliance on Russian energy in response to what Moscow dubs as its special military operation in Ukraine.
We are launching the unique Kovyktia gas field, the largest in eastern Siberia. Its recoverable reserves are 1.8 trillion cubic meters of gas. The launch of this complex will guarantee the procurement in gas and refined products of Russian companies as well as foreign partners.
Of course, this represents for us new opportunities of social and economic development, new possibilities to increase exports. Russia will also emerge as one of the world leaders in helium production.
President Muhammadu Buhari has commissioned African Quality Assurance Center in Ogun State. Speaking at the commissioning on Shagamu-Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the president commended the financiers Afreximbank for the newly commissioned center. He emphasized the importance of the center in improving quality assurance for domestic consumption. The president also noted that the center will encourage such a policy and give confidence to manufacturers that raw materials from Nigeria are of the highest acceptable quality. The Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission has announced a mini bid round to spur new exploration and drilling activities in Nigeria's deep waters. Announcing the bid round, the Commission's chief executive says that the pre-bid conference is scheduled for the 16th of January next year, while pre-qualification applicants will be invited to submit their applications by the 31st of January 2023.
This mini bid round intends to build on the successes of the last bid round that held in April 2007, during which a total of 45 blocks drawn from the inland basins of Anambra, Benue, and Chad, the Niger Delta continental shelf, onshore Niger Delta, and deep offshore were put on offer. In this year mini bid round, 7 offshore blocks covering an area of approximately 6,700 kilometers in water depths of 1,150 meters to 3,100 meters is put on offer. The success of the mini bid round will ensure all stakeholders gain value from the country's resources, whilst paying close attention to reduction in carbon emissions, as well as overall environmental, social, governance considerations.
And that's it for the Market Roundup on Business Week.